There was a time when Germans and Israelis playing football together was far from a straightforward matter. A time when it would have been unthinkable for Israelis to cheer on German stars of the game.
Every time somebody asks me, how can you cheer them, you know, after what happened in the Holocaust?
And for Israel's under-21 team to have a German coach.
Germany has a very high standing, at least in football.
Or for Israelis to be playing in the Bundesliga.
We cannot say for all our history, Germany hit us, Germany don't like us. Because it's really changed and now it's much more different.
So how does it feel for a Jewish footballer today to represent Germany?
I'm not naive. As a Jew in Germany, it's not all love, peace and harmony.
And what has made football such a game changer when it comes to bringing Germans and Israelis closer together?
My name is Almog. I play for FC Ingolstadt. I'm 26 years old. I have my wife, Gal, and my daughter, Maylin. And I'm happy to be here. I born in Beersheba. My father born in Morocco, and my mother born in Israel. Their parents born in Morocco. And I think Moroccan people, they are very warm, they are very friendly. And I remember just when I come to Nuremberg, to Germany, then my father was live with me 1 year, and after 3-4 months, he have more friends than I have. When I remember myself, when I started football at 12 years old in Israel, when I played in the garden, my dream was to play in Germany.
In fact, I have two jobs. The first is under-21 coach, where I work with the team just like any other national team coach. And as technical director, there are more mid- and long-term tasks. In football, situations are resolved on the pitch with technical and tactical means, not with wars. And in football, you shoot with balls, not with missiles or with live ammunition.
My name is Alec Privalov. I'm 27 and I've been playing for TuS Maccabi for 6 years. TuS Maccabi is a Jewish club and we incorporate the traditions and holidays. I've been in Germany for over 20 years. I'm originally from the Soviet Union. We came here when I was 3. Football and sport in general played a major role. Football teaches you discipline. The coach showed us by example. And the German kids were always punctual, disciplined and ambitious. I tried to copy all of that, so football has also helped me to learn more about Germany.
My name is Zvika Riz. I'm 37 years old from Tel Aviv, Israel. And I support the German national team and Bayern Munich. I started following the German national team since 1990 when they won the World Cup. And since then, it's like a romantic story. usually when it comes to Bayern Munich and Germany football matches, the Israeli media is not writing a lot about them. They're not really fond when it comes to German football. See, only a few words about Bayern, that's it. But when it comes to Messi, they talk many about Messi, Ronaldo, Messi, Ronaldo, Messi, Ronaldo. I have a headache from Messi and Ronaldo. That's why I was happy in the World Cup. They shut up their mouth for both, also Messi and Ronaldo. Ronaldo 4-0, Messi, the World Cup. That's the best answer.
Okay, guys, we're fit and prepared, and we're going to rock for 90 minutes. We're going to win challenges. We're going to be available for passes, and we're not going to hide. We know what we want, and we know where we want to go. We want to do it and get points here. That's why we came here. First, a hard graft for 45 minutes. Now, come on, let's do it.
A Sunday just like any other in Berlin. Maccabi Berlin are playing away at BFC Preußen in a top-of-the-table local league clash. It's first against fourth with Alek Privalov in midfield for Maccabi. Maccabi Berlin was originally a 100% Jewish club, but its makeup has changed since its resurrection in 1970, with Jews playing alongside non-Jews.
For me, it's important that it's been possible to get established as a Jew or a Jewish club in Berlin and see that TuS Maccabi is a very modern and multicultural club. We have people from all backgrounds and religions playing here. On the pitch, we're a team and friends.
The game isn't going Maccabi's way, although they do pull a goal back. But just before finish, Preußen wrap up the game 3-1. Maccabi honors Jewish traditions and the team celebrate Jewish holidays together. And together they've also had to suffer hostility towards the club.
There was one away game, probably 3 years ago now. There were a lot of people around the pitch shouting out things that have no place in a normal football game. They were totally out of order. They shouted things like, "Damn Jew." And they cursed Turkish players too, saying, "You play in a Jewish club? Shame on you, traitor." And stuff like that. I can't focus on that because otherwise I'd stop playing football and would instead just get annoyed. Getting worked up about the ref, yourself and whatever is bad enough, and if I then started analyzing the language some people use against me, it would do my head in.
Alek was in the thick of the action in Tel Aviv at the 2013 Maccabi Games, a competition often called the Jewish Olympics. Jewish athletes from 70 nations took part. Alek Privalov captained the football team representing Germany.
Being in the German national side, this is a big honor in Israel. You could see from the sheer scale what a big event it is. The whole of Israel was watching.
This delegation has 202 athletes. Good luck to you all.
And summer 2015 will see the European Maccabi Games, pitting the best Jewish sportsmen and women from across the continent against each other in Berlin.
We're very confident going into this tournament. We're proud to be representing Germany and just as proud to be Jewish. We now have a big community in Germany, a Jewish collective. So why shouldn't we represent Germany as it's now become? We're advancing and becoming more modern. It's important for me to be visibly present, and also for German Jews to show we live in Germany and we're happy to be playing for Germany.
Wir sind froh, für Deutschland spielen zu können.
Tzvika Riz is among the thousands of football fans in Israel. Most, of course, support their own country, and many follow the big-name clubs from England and Spain. But Tzvika roots for Germany and Bayern Munich.
We were watching the World Cup 1990. I was watching it with my father, and I asked him who plays against who, and he told me, you see the German team, they will take the World Cup. So I followed the team. And I saw they win again and win again. And then came the final against Argentina. And I said, oh, playing against Maradona? That's good. We are the underdog. And I like cheering for the underdog. And after the final whistle, I was happy for the first time, you know, cheering for a team football that takes a big trophy, famous trophy. And I said, okay, I picked myself a good team.
He's gearing up for a big night. A few hours from now, Tzvika's beloved FC Bayern will be playing in the quarterfinals of the Champions League against Porto. Tzvika works as a computer administrator in Tel Aviv, but his real passion is the Facebook page he runs for Israeli fans of German football.
My dream is that one day the DFB will give me a call and say, listen, we want you to be our ambassador in Israel, and you can be as an employee. We will employ you. You know, we'll give you money so you can do this stuff, not just on your free time. You can get paid. And this way I will be very, very happy.
Tzvika spent 2 weeks last summer supporting the German team at the World Cup in Brazil. He then watched the final with his friends back in Israel on a beach in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, it was a good time. I was holding the video like this, and I was jumping with them. There were, of course, also tourists that came here and German people that came there. But the people that makes the noise, they're Israelis. The people who are surrounding or not making the noise, they're Germans. This is a friend of mine. He's really mad about Germany. He has a tattoo. Look.
הערב גרמניה תנצח.
כמה?
תנצח בקושי, אבל תנצח.
וואלה.
1-0.
מתרגש?
מאוד.
So now I'm like interviewing him. Like, how can you be a German fan in Israel? I feel it's part of my life, you know, to be a pioneer here in Israel when it comes to German football, to not be ashamed that I like German football, to be proud that I like German football. You don't choose where you get born. And in the same way you could have been born in Germany, and you don't, and you can't take the fault of what your grandfather or your grand-grandfather did. And at the end, it's sport, it's football. And that's where it's supposed to be.
Israel is currently involved in the qualification round for the 2016 European Championships. Michael Nace is also involved as technical director of the Israeli Football Association.
Every success that the national side has on the pitch obviously boosts the identity factor. People who love football quickly identify with the team if they're playing well and also getting good results.
als Mannschaft auftritt und dann noch erfolgreich ist. Und die fragen dann auch gar nicht nach.
They don't care about where a player comes from or what their religious affiliation is.
Israel hasn't qualified for a major tournament since the 1970 World Cup. The country was originally a member of the Asian Football Confederation. After being expelled in 1984 due to political opposition from Arab nations, Israel joined the European Federation. Now they're hoping to make it to the finals in France in summer 2016.
Michael, for us, is a very professional. He's giving us the professional side of football. Very experienced guy, brings the approach that we all looked for.
Michael Ney's plans to rebuild Israeli football from the ground up.
We
only have to form one national side, not 3 or 4. Germany could probably field 4 or 5 teams on a similar level. The young elite being developed in Germany is as big as all the players here of that age.
Second Division club Ingolstadt is playing a friendly. Last season, Cohen was a regular, but then in July he suffered a fractured tibia. This is his first appearance in the starting lineup since then. Ingolstadt looks set to win a promotion to the First Division for the first time in the club's history.
When we go first league, yes, then it's every time great feeling to play against the best player in the world, like Götze, Royce, Müller. German football, they are so strong and they are so good. And I think now everyone knows it's German Bundesliga is one of the top leagues in the world. So tired. Yeah, really, very tired. After a long time, play 90 minutes is not so easy.
Almar Cohen is the 5th Israeli to have played in the Bundesliga. He's now also in the Israeli national side with 12 caps to date. His big breakthrough came in 2010 when he signed to Nuremberg. It was a big move in more ways than one for the then 21-year-old.
When I was in Nuremberg, much more I spoke about political things, but normally I don't go really inside for politics things because I'm not a political man. I'm a football player and I come to make my things sport and to show my quality. But this kind of things like racism, for me is like red light, You cannot pass this red light. And my father and mother, I think they learn me to give respect for every people. Doesn't matter which color, which religion. And, when I come, I have Muslim friend, I have Christian friend, and they can be like my brother.
Cohen's best friends at the club were Mehmet Ekici and Ilkay Gundogan, who went on to become a Dortmund and Germany star. Both are Muslims. They'd often come round for dinner to sample Cohen's dad's Israeli cooking. The club's training ground is next to the infamous Nazi Party rally grounds, where the Nuremberg racial purity laws were proclaimed that deprived German Jews of their rights.
Our training place is there and the stadium is here. I see this every time, but really to come inside like this, it's my first time. Never I don't come inside. It makes me some bad feeling when I'm here.
It was right from this spot that Hitler delivered his tirades against Jews to a party-faithful crowd of tens of thousands.
I remember my father come and he was also very, very sad. When he come here and watch this, all this big, all the building, now I understand it because I have this feeling now also. I know what happened here and I know the history, and a lot of Jewish die, and I'm Jewish, and maybe if I was in this time, maybe also I was die. I'm happy they still keep these things. Like the people come here and to know what happened here is very important. I see now also the rabbi from our community.
The rabbi helped Ahmed Cohen settle in Nuremberg. And that wasn't easy at first. Almog had many questions. What was the coach really saying in the changing room? And where could he get kosher food in Germany?
Someone told me there was a footballer coming to Nuremberg. I think it was his father who first contacted me, and we met for the first time at the synagogue.
Normally on Champions League evenings, Zvika meets up with friends in a pub, but today is different. Because it's Holocaust Memorial Day, tomorrow the pub is closed. And there's no sport on TV.
Because of Holocaust evening, we won't be giving information updates from the match tonight. Tomorrow, we will upload only posts that are relevant to the Holocaust.
For Bayern's previous big game, he and his friends were invited to the studio by Israel's biggest sports station.
They were showing in Sport 5 this small report about Kurt Landauer. And they asked me, did you know about the Jewish roots of Bayern Munich?
תגיד, את הסיפור הזה, על לנדאואר ועל ההיסטוריה היהודית של ביירן, אתה מכיר את הסיפור?
אני חושב שאפילו אנחנו מנסים להעצים כל הזמן את הסיפור הזה, בגלל שיש איזושהי טענה כלפי כדורגל גרמני בארץ, בגלל שורשים, אז תמיד אתה בא ואומר, אוקיי, מועדון ביירן מינכן, אם אתם לא יודעים, אבל הוא בעצם מועדון שהבסיס שלו הוא יהודים, מנהלים יהודים, אפילו גם היו שחקנים. דרך אגב, האוהדים שהביאו את זה לתודעה, הם זכו השנה בפרס יוליוס הירש.
That Jewish background was largely unknown even to many Bayern Munich players until just a few years ago.
Kurt Landauer was a very important person in the history of Bayern Munich. He was a person pro-tolerance, against violence and against racism, and that is something what is still alive today.
שהכינו ביום ההולדת שלו לפני 5 שנים. זה היה דגל שהבהיר סופית שביירן כבר לא מחביאה את העבר שלה, אלא גאה בו.
I think that post got, I think, the most likes ever in my page, because it's much more easier to people to connect to football here in Israel through Judaism.
The Israeli Bayern fans usually make lots of noise when their team is playing, but tonight there's not all that much to cheer about.
תרים בשבילהם, בשביל הסאונד.
אל תשכח שיש גם שכנים פה שעדיין בערב יום השואה, אז אתה יודע, לא צריך להיסחף.
It's just not Bayern's night. At halftime, Yaron reveals what made him a Germany fan.
I've always loved the captain of the Germany team, whether it was Klinsmann or Matthäus or Ballack. I thought having a tattoo with Germany's World Cup stars would be really nice, so I did. But there was the dilemma of whether I should have the team's logo done on my back or on my arm like a captain's armband, with the stars representing the World Cup titles. Hopefully, I'll have another 3 or 4 stars on this arm by the time I die.
You see it as your national flag. We see it, he sees it as his favorite football team. It's different.
On Holocaust Memorial Day, life comes to a complete halt in Israel for 2 minutes. We're at a memorial site to the victims of the Theresienstadt ghetto.
As I was in this ceremony, I was getting these photos from my family. We have this kind of WhatsApp group for family, and they send me photos of the grandfathers and grandmother that were murdered in the Holocaust in Auschwitz. So it makes you feel a little bit even more connected to what happened 70 years ago. I'm named after my grandfather, who lost most of his family in the Holocaust, and he himself fought the Nazis as a partisan soldier.
What many people don't know is that during the Second World War, there was a football league in Theresienstadt.
You see the name of the team. This is coming from Yad Vashem. You can see the Electriker and Fleischer and Agibor Prague. The names are coming from the working places or teams that they liked, like Fortuna Köln.
Oded Breda organized an exhibition about the league in Theresienstadt after recognizing his uncle in an old photo.
This is the professional goal. We started to research the origins of the family, and because I'm a football fan, so I thought until then that the game that was shot in the propaganda movie was a kind of one game for propaganda.
Zur größten Sportveranstaltung in Theresienstadt, zum Fußballwettspiel. Die Zuschauermenge fassen zu können, findet das Wettspiel immer auf dem Hof einer früheren Kaserne statt. Wegen des etwas beschränkten Spielraumes sind die beiden Mannschaften nur je 7 Mann stark. Trotzdem wird von Anfang bis zum Ende den begeistert mitgehenden Zuschauern ein hartes Spiel geliefert.
I started to be curious about the fact that how come in a ghetto there is a league. I never heard about something like this before, that people play football in a ghetto. The problem with Liga Theresian, you don't see Holocaust here. You don't see SS, you don't see fans, you don't see misery. You see something like, okay, some people, the Jews play football, enjoy their life. And then the only hint for the Holocaust is the Judenstern here, okay, that you can see somehow. Okay, you can see here, which is not that clear. And that's it. People are dressed well. They were ordered to come dressed well. They ended the shooting around mid-September. At the end of September, all the transports from Theresian to Auschwitz-Birkenau started. So in less than a month, all the people that you saw here were on the way to Auschwitz.
The Olympic Park in Berlin, built by the Nazis for the Summer Games of 1936. Jews were banned from the German team. In the summer of 2015, those same grounds will host the first ever European Maccabi Games to be held in Germany.
Does it give me the chills? I grew up in this city, and I know the Olympic Stadium primarily because of Hertha Berlin, and I now associate Hertha with a multicultural club.
The football final will take place at the small stadium where the reserve team of First Division side Hertha normally play. Perhaps that final will feature the Germany side captained by Alek Privarov.
I can see the teams coming down here, lining up before the game. The referee blows his whistle and the game kicks off. And it's us playing against our opponents. The final in Berlin. That adds an extra touch to the whole thing. It makes me proud too, being able to stand here with 10 of my friends. I'm already picturing the final again. But even apart from being able to play here, we're all able to follow our hobby and our passion. We have friends and family watching, here at this place, wearing that shirt as a German Jew. It's really emotional. Right now I'm imagining getting a penalty in the final and converting it. It's a little like a movie running through my head. When you look at that goal, it's just begging you to score a goal. The netting is perfect.
A sports ground in a suburb of Jerusalem. The Peres Center for Peace runs a project here supported by Michael Neis, coaching Palestinian and Israeli youngsters. Instruction is in both Hebrew and Arabic.
I was told here are some very, very good players. So I didn't hesitate a single second to come to see if we find some players for our national teams. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here, and I think we should just have some fun.
Today there are practice sessions for the Palestinian kids, tomorrow for their Israeli counterparts. At the weekend they'll be playing together in mixed teams instead of opposing each other. The idea is to break down barriers.
Is unacceptable. Just you can see them walking next to each other in the shopping mall. They can meet each other and never say hello because they may be afraid of one of each other because they never can meet. And on the field with just football, you can make them to do a little peace process.
Neis has experience in that field. He previously worked with groups in interethnic conflicts in South Africa and Rwanda and knows what football is capable of.
We are the only one just mix the kids. All the other ones say, okay, now is Israel playing against Palestine or
Would be really interesting if you would train
them together.
There, mixed, and here mixed. Then it would be.
Then it will be. Then it's gonna be peace.
Peace often seems a distant prospect in a place divided by conflict. A place all too used to terrorist attacks and military incursions. Not the easiest of environments for a coach from abroad.
I remember the Gaza War back then. It began during the Under-21 European Championships in Hungary. The players and the coach were glued to their TV screens and the internet. And that's where you lose concentration, although it's understandable, of course. These guys are under 21s. They're all soldiers, and their colleagues are being deployed in combat zones. And because they play for the national team, they get privileged treatment, but their concentration did suffer.
We're off to Arad, not far from the Dead Sea, to meet Shmuel Rosenthal.
In the 70s, that was the only time that Israel qualified for the World Cup in Mexico 1970. I think Rosenthal was the first Israeli players who played abroad, not just Germany. And of course, he was the first pioneer of the Bundesliga. For me, it's just history. But it is interesting, yeah, meeting somebody from the history who has a really big influence. I believe for Rosenthal it was even more difficult than nowadays because back in the 70s, the Holocaust memory was still fresh.
Zvika knows Shmuel Rosenthal's story. His father came to Israel from Lithuania in 1935, aged 17. His entire family were later murdered in the Holocaust. Rosenthal Sr. established a career as a footballer in Israel. His son followed suit and ended up in, of all places, Germany.
Welcome.
In the summer of 1972, Shmuel Rosenthal signed to Borussia Mönchengladbach, a career highlight with big expectations for the player.
From each country, they
choose one.
Beckenbauer from Germany, Van Heemsten, from Belgium, Pelé, Bobby Charlton, Shmuel Rosenthal, Riva, Rivera, Gigi Riva.
Rosenthal was known in Europe after appearing at the 1970 World Cup for Israel. Then came the deadly terrorist attack on the Israeli team at the Munich Olympics in 1972.
I was very famous, and the terrorist was still there.
You were afraid that would be attacked?
That happened also again. So the embassy gave me some guy who protect me.
Bodyguard.
Bodyguard, like this. So I play in the Olympic Stadium with Mönchengladbach.
In München?
In München, okay, in München, in Munich, and it was snow. I never used to snow. With you punkies, no? It's me. This Julianis. He ran for me. I tried to watch him. I have to keep eye on him.
You couldn't keep up with the space.
He was very fast, and it was very difficult for me. The snow and also his speed.
Rosenthal had already played against Mönchengladbach 2 years before signing to the club. He appeared for Israel in a historic friendly. In May 1970, Mönchengladbach became the first professional side from Germany to play in the country. Security was tight due to fears of a hostile reaction, but the capacity home crowd applauded the visitors, despite Gladbach winning 6-0. Two years later, Shmuel Rosenthal signed to Gladbach. His transfer to Germany was another visible sign of football having the power to help reconcile Germany and Israel.
I was born because of football. My father came to Israel in 1935 in the Maccabiah, second Maccabiah.
Okay.
And then after a year, the war started, and all the family of my father killed by the Nazis
in the
Holocaust. So I tell to my father that I'm going to play in Germany. How you feel about it? He talked about it, look in my eyes and said, it's not so easy for me to say to you, but if you are talking about professional, talking about achievement in sport, you become a first Israeli player who play overseas in Germany in one of the best teams. I give you my blessing.
Before I come to Germany, they say the German people, they're a little bit cold and they are quiet and they don't talk. They don't let you feel like it's your family. But I have best friend and I meet all the family for our players, and they are very warm. And then when I go to Israel back, I say it's much more different, like what they think about the German, like they really are.
I can speak German. You hear it spoken a lot on the streets. I don't have to pretend anything or put on a mask. I can be who I am, totally normal, and as a German. People accept me without any prejudices, and that's what has impressed me the most.
Man trifft auch häufig auf Menschen.
You often meet people, whether they're Germans or of Turkish or Arab descent, who say, "Hey, you're a Jew playing for TuS Maccabi. I don't agree with Israeli policies, but I accept you as a human being. And I appreciate that."
Das ist mir wichtig. Das kann ich nachvollziehen, also da habe ich auch Verständnis.
What's unique about football is it's showing you that there is a way of living together, even though you have different background, and that's what we should try to reach. That's the main goal: to be together. Doesn't matter where you came from, where you grew up, what your parents, what your grandfather. What matters is you today and the future.
Good night, Berlin. We love the German and we want a peace in all the world. Good night.
I love Germany.